Hi everyone, welcome to the Game Talk. We just saw Ajax play against AZ, home game, just before the international break. Yadorenko, thank you for joining me today. We lost Yadorenko 2-1. Before we start talking about the consequences and everything that it might have on maybe coaching and the technical staff, let's start with the game itself. Is there anything we can analyze about the game? Can we start with the first 11? Were you okay with the first 11 after knowing that Shutala was not available, Berghuis was not available? Were you okay with that? What did you see in the first half? What did you see in the second half? What's your overall conclusion? I'm dropping so many questions at you at once, so you can take it from here. And I will also keep an eye on the comments that we have live right now, and I can see them. So sorry again, guys, for Thursday, but we can see your comments. If you have questions for Yadorenko or for me, let us know as well. And let's have a discussion, man, because this is embarrassing, Yadorenko, to be honest.
Is it? It's been going on from the beginning, so there's no real change. So there's no real surprise for me, to be honest. And that sounds a little bit harsh, maybe. But again, he switched the formation as you always do when you come in as a new coach. You keep switching everything, so the players that are on the pitch will never get into any rhythm, and the players that should bench, you keep them on just to make it interesting. So
you're not talking only about today. You're talking about recent weeks. The constant shifting of players. Yeah. Okay.
And for instance. Look at Guy. He was okay today. He subbed. He had a okay substitution in that perspective. But after the game against Feyenoord, he gets sacked and doesn't play anymore. And now Rens goes out, and all of a sudden Guy has to save you again. And that's not only Guy. He did that with Van der Bomen. He does that with so many players that there's nothing in this team where you can expect they can progress. They scored the 1-2, and then you expect, okay, maybe it's not going the football way. Then it goes the passion way, and it goes the fighting way. No, it doesn't. And that's because they don't have the trust of the coach. They don't have the rhythm. They don't have the feeling, okay, I have to go for this. There's no line in what they want tactically, because last week's it was a bit of like long balls. We haven't seen that as well today. I don't know even what it was today, what we saw and what the tactic was. Because it wasn't pressing, it wasn't long balls, it wasn't pulling back. It was table football mostly.
Yeah. Look, after the match in Greece, right? Stein said that he's seeing progress. He's seeing bit by bit progress every week, and he said it also before the game today. Are you of the same opinion? Are you seeing things? Because I'm not seeing it. I'm actually seeing.
Nobody sees it, but he cannot say that he doesn't see progress, because then he disqualifies himself, because he's making the decisions to get the progression. So he must say, yeah, of course there's progression, because I'm doing the changes that are needed. No, he isn't. He's just too way into it, over his head into it. He's never played the Ajax game, which is evident. He's never played at a club at this level. He never dealt with pressure like this. So everything is new from him, and we knew this from the start.
If you look at the game, right, one thing you said is that you would think, if the football doesn't work out, we will throw some passion, we'll throw some work rate into it, and maybe we can get something out of it at the end still. If you look at that, right, I mean, I'm looking at the game, maybe you have a different opinion, but the players, it's not for a lack of trying or wanting to win. You see they're coming in like from the Bomo or Guy, but also players like Robbie giving everything they have. Forbes. There are players there that are doing their best and they're doing everything they can. But why isn't it working out?
Because there's no structure. There's no structure how they form with defending. There's no structure or form how they press when they press. It's almost if they do the training and then Stein says to them, "Have a lovely game," without any tactical plan at all. And loads of fans have commented that there seems to be no plan. And I haven't discovered any plan tactically up till now.
The only plan I saw in the first half was we're trying to build up, but I think 90% of our passes was sideways or to Gorter. And then,
but he wasn't really trying to build up. He was probably saying to his defense, "Don't make mistakes," because what we saw on the pitch is that they didn't really dare to give a pass or to give a long ball, and that's the influence of the coach and the TS. It's not only what you do in the training, and it's not only the formation that you make, but it's the whole general idea what you give, what you want from them, and what you expect from them. And if you either don't communicate that clearly, or you give them mixed signals, then they really don't know what to do.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, which is interesting, I haven't thought of it that way, is that the coach also took a little bit of their confidence away. Also, what you said earlier, because of this, these players being sacrificed, if they did a mistake, they will be substituted right away. But also, they're not allowed to make mistakes, so they cannot, they don't have the confidence to play the way that they're supposed to play. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, but there are lots of players that are either on the bench or in the team, which have experienced that in the short time he's been there. Look at Rens. Rens was the first one he went to when he made the formation together with Bergwijn, and all of a sudden Rens was swept aside, and now he's his man again. So it's not clear, and it's not.
Wasn't Rens swapped because he was injured at that time a little bit? I think
a little bit, but
look,
I got the idea he really chose for Guy, and the swapping or the injury came a bit lucky to do that. But now it's all back again, and we saw how Guy did today. It wasn't all that bad, and sure he made terrible mistakes against Feyenoord, but you have to give a team the structure they need to fall back on, and especially when they're not in form, you have to do that. You have to implement that.
Look, one of the things, there are a few fans still, Ajax fans still, who are saying, look, there are two arguments being brought up, right? First of all is there's not much you can do with these set of players. It's the players also. We shouldn't blame 100% Stijn, although he is culpable as well. You should also look at the players. And the second thing you hear is, okay, and there's a question about that, which I'll pull up in a bit. The second question, which is from Christian. It's related to that. He's saying, gentlemen, with the international break now up, what do you think they're able to do? Since most players are going to be playing for their country, but also you're hearing, what should the board do or the management do? I mean, even if you would, because now there are also rumors or messages or news coming up that Stijn's position will be discussed internally, even if you would let him go away, what's the next step? What can you do in such a short time? Or should we just think now, okay, we shouldn't do the same as what we did last year with Schroeder during the World Cup, not do anything during that time that we have? Where do you stand in all these arguments?
I said it earlier. You just make a decision and go back to where your strength is. So use youth, use the pressing game, And no, it will not change in 1, 2, 3 games. It won't. Just accept that. Accept that you're in a predicament. If you caused the situation yourselves because of the choices you've made, and now you have to sit it out and start over again, and that's going to take time.
It's going to take time. So your position is that we should say goodbye to Stijn.
My position is that we should have said goodbye to Stijn way earlier. So yeah, surely now it's again 3 games later. So you wasted 3 games of getting to know the new thing you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Sebastian is saying here the difference between Stijn and Jansen was huge. Pascal Jansen is 10 times better. I'll be honest with you. I think we talked about it a little bit during the game. This AZ today wasn't even very good.
No.
That makes it even worse because they were waiting for us to make a mistake. They weren't even playing their attacking.
But it's like the home game against Feyenoord. Feyenoord wasn't good against us, especially in that first half. They weren't playing good, but they led 3-0 without a problem. And it was the same with AZ. They weren't good. They had, I believe, they had 1 chance in the first half, and that was a goal. And in the second half, I had to stop counting how many chances they had, because it could have been 1-5 as well. That wasn't really a big problem if you count the chances of AZ. But they, even in the second half, they weren't playing really great. But it's such a lack of structure within the tactics of Ajax that people step out, people step in, make the wrong decisions, hesitate, which is killing on this level, even against AZ, which isn't really in form.
And also players like Hato I've seen and Bergwijn being frustrated at their teammates. And these are not good signs, to be honest, you know. And also we lost 1-2. We're talking about that AZ didn't even play that well. They had numerous chances at the end to score 1, 2, or maybe 3 goals at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, look, I want to ask you a question because you're one of the fans that we know, and also on the channel that has seen Ajax play for a longer time than we have, even though we're not young either. But can you remember Ajax? I mean, of course, we always went through ups and downs, but can you remember us being this bad?
No. And I've seen the 80s, and the 80s weren't specifically well as well. So were the 2000 years weren't always that well, but at least there was always that same gameplay. So if it clicked, then you, in a couple of games, you get the pressing going on, and you get the trust, and you get the how do you say it? The enforcement of some things. It's not that that attacking is the holy grail, but trying to enforce something is so different as most of the teams are doing, and that's the way where Ajax always had their success, especially in Europe. And I believe it's the only way to get success, because quality-wise and experience-wise, you cannot compete with big teams. There's only one thing that you can do, is that you can enforce something which they don't like and don't expect, and have a hard time to handle. So that's basically where you need to focus, in my opinion.
Christian is saying in recent time, maybe when Blind was coach, he lost 10 games in the 2005-2006 season. But I remember a little bit that season. No, we ended what, 4th in the league?
Yeah, 4th or 5th, something like that.
We're now relegation. We're going to play relegation battle against Utrecht after the international break.
Nah, that's a bit exaggerated. That's now at this moment, but we won't play relegation football the whole season. That's not going to happen. But the start is terrible. But you did have Twente, you did have AZ, you did have Feyenoord. And at this moment, without any form, without any structure, without any good tactics, yeah, this happens. There are also 2 games which we haven't played, which doesn't make it really better, but it does convince me that we're not going to play relegation football all season. But we have to see. But they have to make a decision, and I really hope they're going to make a good decision and a wise decision, and not look at the politics within Ajax, but just look at what the team needs, whatever the decision is.
All right. Look, I'm going to pull up some of the comments, especially regarding what now. What should we do moving forward? So your opinion about that. Let me just pull up a couple first before you react. Roy is saying, how is Ajax going to climb up again? How are we going to get out of this terrible nightmare? It really hurts my heart, the situation we're in right now. I'm a fan since '94. This Ajax is destroying my joy. Ziki is saying, maybe get a TS with technical staff with Tecate, Vos, Maduro, and Bogarde. Lijn is saying, I would think they get a Van Gaal added as an interim. Somebody like Danny Blind who will just do what Luis says, or he says as well from de Boer. At this point, I'll be honest with you, anyone would do better, in my opinion, than what's going on. I was against a bit from de Boer, but right now, after watching these last couple of weeks, I'm fine with having from de Boer coming in.
I'm sorry, I'm not fine with it, but
no,
but I'll admit it cannot get any worse. But I wouldn't go for Frank de Boer. I wouldn't go for.
What would you do?
Tecate. You know what I would do. I would go for a combination like Jonk as a technical director. And
would Jonk fit in that hierarchy also with Van Gaal? I don't know. Do they?
What does Van Gaal? Van Gaal advises, but he advises, so there's no role for him. I think it's a ridiculous.
You cannot say that. Van Gaal has been appointed with a reason. He has influence now.
But it's ridiculous. It's an IPO listed company, and they're gonna give someone advising the advisory board. What's that about? That's strange. Either put him in the board or don't put him in the board. This is old way amateur football club structures, which shouldn't happen at an IPO listed company. And we all understand the situation of Van Gaal with his illness. So I can imagine it's too much for him at the moment, but you cannot give him an advisory role to advise the advisory board. That's really strange.
Even your dog is upset. So
she's not agreeing with me.
You see, look, I just want to. So you, I cut you off. You said you want Jonk as a technical director. Who would you have as a coach?
I would choose. Hold on.
Yes.
Lulu. I would choose someone like. I'm also not saying it has to be Jonk, but you have to have someone that has that vision to get Ajax back where they are, best in, basically. And I would go for someone like Grim, someone who has some experience, someone who knows Ajax and who has proved.
But is Grim the guy that will salvage our season right now? If you appoint him right now after Stijn is maybe released.
Depends on what you're expecting. If you're expecting that he will qualify for the European games next year, I don't think so. But if you look at bringing Ajax a little bit more back towards the football, hold on.
What's wrong with your dog, man? People are getting obsessed.
There's someone calling. Hold on.
Alright. All right, so people, I will just read your comments. Let me see. So people are reacting to Grim. Yeah, I have the same reaction, more or less. Amateur level coach. I wouldn't go that far.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I'm bringing up the comments about Grim. People are reacting to that. Relegation level coach. Ziggy Sinyarenko, please. Grim, save us the bull. No, people are not agreeing with you on Grim.
But that's fine. I'm not saying it has to be Grim, but it at least has to be someone who wants to play attacking football. And I actually think Grim won't be worse as Stein will.
But should this be the most important point right now, playing attacking football, or should we appoint an interim for this season to salvage the season?
You cannot salvage it anymore. You're not gonna play European football, so the season is lost. Basically.
Already.
Sorry?
Already.
Yeah,
you told me don't exaggerate about the relegation battle. We just played like 7.
But there's a difference between in the relegation battle, or that you can play European football. That's I think that you're way too far behind, and you cannot expect that any coach will turn this around just like that.
Okay, let me answer. Wait.
Next games are against Utrecht and PSV. You're not going to win both games.
Okay, hold on. Let's say you get one of the big coaches from the past, the coaches that have done this before. Like, I'm gonna put some names on the table. Like, people are saying, okay, Vergaal would be the normal one, but he's not able to do it. I read a comment the other day. Somebody was saying that Guus Hiddink maybe would be an option, and the reason I thought it was a crazy choice, but somebody of that caliber, or somebody that has a lot of experience, a lot of baggage, like maybe Ten Kate, maybe we should go for those old, with all due respect, experienced coaches to help us a few months, and then when Alex Cruz comes in, and we have a little bit more of an organization, the new RVC is known, all these kind of things, then you start looking at a permanent manager. Because I also said this earlier in the stream, I don't know if it was last week, but hold on. Why what?
Why would you do that? Why? Guus Hiddink never, ever played attacking football.
But that's
in 98, sorry, in 98.
But he can maximize the performance of a team in a short period of time. You cannot deny that.
Can he?
Yes.
How did he do at the Netherlands team? One of his latest jobs was terrible, wasn't it?
Come on, look at how he performed. I mean, we're talking about his total resume. We're not talking about the Netherlands.
Yeah, sure. But you also have to look at what he did last, because you cannot say he's the same trainer as he was at Real Madrid. You cannot say that, because he's also older. He's a bit more fragile, and we saw under pressure how he did at Oranje, and that wasn't that great. And I'm not going to say he's a terrible choice, but I would say I don't think Grim will do a terrible job. And at least when you have someone that is right for the job and is going to take over, you don't have to begin with your gameplay, because your gameplay is already a little bit better in place, and it's not going to be huge. And again, I'm not going to say it has to be Grim, but it has to be, in my opinion, it has to be someone who knows Ajax, who can do the attacking game, has proven that he can do the attacking game, and is not scared to play the attacking game, because I really think the quality, even with some of the players, the quality is good enough to play attacking football and win enough games to get out of that relegation worries, and maybe with some luck You even can reach the playoffs for European football. But to be honest, I'm not going to even count on it. Just write it off, take the hits, and make a structural decision which is going to deliver you, at least in the next season, that you can close the gap towards the top again.
Yeah. Some people are dropping names here for as a coach. I'm reading Giovanni from Bronkhorst. I'm not sure whether he would do that, to be honest. Ronald Koeman, that's funny. Rijkaard, if he wanted to, but I don't think Rijkaard want to do anything with football. I think he said it a couple of times already. And
they asked him recently again, and he said, "No, I'm fine with my life as it is." So
exactly. And some people are saying, "Look, Yodarenko, what you're asking is maybe too much at this point. Forget attacking football." Dogboard said it, but also Roy is saying now, do we have the players to play this Ajax attacking style? Because I don't see it.
Okay, maybe you should first make good decisions and make some good structure, and then I don't think there's a lot against attacking football.
No. He's saying no. They're saying, can we play attacking football with these players that we have? No matter who you put in front of this team as a coach.
Of course, if you train it with them, why shouldn't you be able to? Even lower teams can play attacking football, but they mostly don't do because they don't have the quality in the back to cope with that. But if you look, if you put Hato in the center, if you have Vos in front of him, they know how to play that game.
Okay.
So why wouldn't you try?
All right. Just to recap, your position on after the game, which was a horrible game, we all agree on that, is that there's no future for Stijn. It's not going to get any better. We should make a choice. We should make a decision right now during the international break, put somebody else in front of the group. You would think of maybe somebody like Grim as a coach. But you see, the most important thing is you want somebody to be permanently appointed. While me, for instance, or other fans, so only for this season as an interim.
It really depends what you want. I do think you need to get back to where you excel in best and where your whole youth is structured upon. And I would definitely choose someone who uses youth a little bit earlier on as the past years. Because we've all seen with Hato, we've all seen with Vos. We today saw it with Van Axel Dongen. Shameful that he went out, but we see that they have that thing, that special thing, which makes opponents insecure, and that's what you need when you are playing the pressing game. You just need to get them off balance and then make profit of that off balance situation. And if you do that enough, it will eventually, at least I believe, fall in your way, and especially with the players you have in the youth.
Do you feel this is a turning point for this season? Now we should take the decision now. If we don't, this might end go even worse for us this season.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Sure. We've all seen the way he handles it, and the TS is not able to stand up to him because people were saying that Maduro was a good addition, but I don't see anything what Maduro brings opposed to what Stijn is saying. So I think it won't progress with Stijn being here.
All right. We came to the end. Actually, it's a very long game talk. Just one more question. Roy is saying, just one more. Roy is saying, so why doesn't Stijn play Missouri and Mika Gods, in your opinion?
Yeah, because he doesn't know. Well, I for one solely believe that he has a different perspective on what quality is and what potential is, and he doesn't like any risks. That's evident. And Gods has risk in his game. Missouri is a youngster. a little bit younger as Gods, I believe, which is a big risk on the midfield, where he's constantly changing his formation. So he's very insecure about his midfield. So he's not going to do a youngster over there. He only put Vos there because the others weren't really an option anymore, because Tahirovic proved he wasn't up to it. Mansverk proved he wasn't up to it. So that's the only reason why he brought Vos, and Vos proved, okay, I'm up to it. And I think Missouri could, but he's a young player, so he needs time. So if you bring a player like that, you have to bring him consistently. So not as a starter immediately, but bring him in as a sub, bring him structurally, and then when he proves himself, give him a starter position and keep giving him a starter position, because he will make mistakes, and he has to learn on this level.
Yeah. I think the best summary of today is that we've learned what you just said. I think that's the best conclusion. We've learned actually that Stijn is somebody who's risk averse. Not only with maybe bringing in youth players, but also giving them trust, also letting the players play freely, from the build up and everything like that. Like you said, they're not allowed to make mistakes, so it becomes much difficult for them to play the way they're supposed to play. Look, I don't know how things are going to turn out. We don't know. I think everybody, maybe almost everybody, is like, Stijn has to leave and we should just hit the reset button. Let's see how things go. We're heading into an international break. Let's hope also the injuries are okay with Amoricho, with Berghuis, with Sutalo. And yeah, man, it's been a very hard start of the season, very difficult to digest as well for everyone.
It can only get better.
Let's go with that. It can only be better. Thanks everyone for joining the stream. We'll be back on Thursday again with the weekly stream, and we'll have another therapy session. Maybe we have more news on what's going on at Ajax. Jadranko, thank you for being here. And one more thing, be nice to your dog, okay? So treat her well.
Yeah, right. She's gonna get some treats. Now she's quiet, so.
Thanks again, man. Thanks everyone.
Cheers. Bye.